Queen's Park. Let me see if I can show you around a little bit using the magic of Steadicam. Look at those lovely trees. The trees here are just really stunning. I mean, they're all planted, what, 100 years ago? Minimum, probably more than that. This was private land. Some rich guy donated it to Brighton on his deathbed. He had all these trees planted. So, we've got him to thank for this. Although, who knows how he made his money, right? How people made their money in those days. None of it's good, is it? Let's be honest. But so here we go. I'll probably fly the drone in a bit. Oh look, we got a squirrel. Let's see if we can. Come on. Got nothing for him, but got monkey nuts, but I never have them on me. They're supposed to be for the crows.
The pirate radio station says, message accepted,
like monkey nuts.
No issues detected.
No moderation issues detected. Messages allowed.
Usually they come right up to you. I don't know, this one's a bit shy. He probably knows that I'm gaslighting him. They're pretty smart. I don't think they go hungry. I mean, this place is a paradise, isn't it? Let's be honest. If you're a squirrel or a swan or a duck, they've even got terrapins in the pond down there, the size of dinner plates. They've been there for so long. They live for decades, and they just keep getting bigger and bigger somehow. Don't know how they do that. Their shells must grow. They don't shed their shells, do they? Interesting. I'll have to check that out later. So yeah, I think I might take the opportunity to get the drone out and show you a bit more of the park.
Power's back, Captain. The world's gonna hear us now.
Then light it up.
Come on home, children. The signal's still strong.
Amen. Shortwave, you online?
Always am, Captain. Let's wake the city.
Brothers and sisters, let's pray.
The real Captain Bob says, "Good morning, everybody."
Message approved. Welcome to the chat.
Every voice leaves an echo, and this one's eternal.
pirate radio station says, message approved. Welcome to the chat.
Message accepted. Welcome to the chat.
In a single 24-hour period, the ground violently tore open across 3 continents. 5 massive earthquakes hit at once in unconnected places across the globe. While California and Japan were rocked, Venezuela was hit by a rare doublet, 2 giant quakes striking just 40 seconds apart. This image shows the aftermath, where rescue workers had to navigate the wreckage of buildings that collapsed in mere seconds. Localized fault activity is a predictable geological process, but a synchronized global cluster of this magnitude defies our standard tectonic models, which usually view these regions as independent systems. It raises a difficult question. Are these just random geological hiccups occurring by chance, or is a larger, unseen mechanism pulling the trigger on a global scale? To find the answer, we have to look past the movement of tectonic plates and investigate what might be loading extra energy into these fault lines from the outside. The search for this hidden energy leads us to 3 distinct layers of our environment: human intervention in the crust, electromagnetic activity in the sky, and violent bursts from the sun. Identifying the real catalyst isn't just about solving a scientific mystery. It's the only way to understand when the next global rupture is actually coming. The most immediate explanation is right under our feet. Industrial operations often drill miles into the crust to inject briny saltwater and sand, creating fractures that stay propped open to release natural gas. This process physically weakens geologic layers that are normally ductile, making them brittle and more susceptible to sudden breaks. We've seen this highly fractured geology trigger magnitude 1 to 5 earthquakes in places like Texas and Oklahoma, where seismic activity used to be rare. However, these man-made tremors are localized. While human activity undeniably alters the crust, it lacks the raw energy required to trigger a synchronized burst of magnitude 7 quakes across 3 different continents. If the cause isn't in the crust, we have to look higher, to ionospheric heaters that beam megahertz energy into the upper atmosphere. These antenna fields use ion cyclotron resonance. Matching the spin of charged plasma particles forces those ions to precipitate down. This precipitation shifts the Schumann resonance, the electromagnetic heartbeat of our planet, perturbing the system linking our atmosphere to our biology. But even though we can measurably alter the sky, There is no verified mechanism that shows these heaters can translate atmospheric pressure into the massive mechanical force needed to snap a major fault line. That brings us to the final catalyst,
The pirate radio
the one that
station
connects the
says,
deep crust
"Message
to the
accepted.
farthest reaches
Welcome
of space,
to the chat."
the sun. Right as the quakes
Message
hit
approved.
Venezuela
Welcome.
and Japan, Earth's magnetic field was struck by a high-speed stream of solar wind. The timing wasn't just a coincidence, it was a direct connection. This image reveals a coronal hole. Here, the sun's magnetic field opens, allowing highly charged particles to escape toward Earth. This isn't just wind, it's an electrical connection. These particles ionize our atmosphere, creating an electromagnetic bridge. Because rock layers under tectonic stress are piezoelectric, they respond to these shifts. The solar wind perturbs Earth's shield, sending an electrical surge through the crust that snaps a strained fault. Earth is not a closed system. It is an electrically coupled part of the solar environment, and the violent weather of our star acts as the ultimate trigger for our planet's most dangerous faults. But as our planet's magnetic shield continues to weaken, we face a threat far greater than standard solar wind. We're looking at the possibility of a Miyake event. A Miyake event is a historic, apocalyptic solar particle storm. Based on the geological record, these bursts are 10 to 100 times more powerful than any solar storm we have recorded in modern history. We found the evidence hidden in tree rings. By measuring radioisotope values like carbon-14, researchers discovered massive spikes of cosmic energy that scarred ancient wood, marking exactly when these global impacts occurred in the past. In our modern world, the impact would be catastrophic. This photo of a Starlink train represents a fraction of the infrastructure we now have in orbit, infrastructure a Miyake event would instantly destroy, alongside the global power grids and communication networks we rely on for survival. The ultimate danger is twofold. If a common solar stream can trigger a magnitude 7 quake today, a Miyake event would hit our weakened magnetic field with enough energy to simultaneously dismantle global civilization and trigger a violent, synchronized rupture of fault lines around the entire world. In that scenario, your only warning might be the P wave, that initial sharp jolt. If you feel it, don't wait for the secondary waves. Get outside and move away from anything that can fall. We are beginning to realize that to truly understand the ground beneath our feet, we have to keep our eyes on the stars. Earth is a living, interconnected system, and our safety depends on understanding our place in the path of the star that powers it all. Imagine the United States government possesses the secrets to anti-gravity. Who would actually be in legal control of that technology? You might assume the president or the highest-ranking generals in the Pentagon hold the keys, but the legal reality is far more convoluted. Eric Burleson is a congressman from Missouri. Before entering politics, he was a software engineer and a financial advisor, a self-described boring professional who values fiscal discipline and the rule of law. When Burleson arrived in Washington, he operated under a simple assumption: the higher you go in the civilian government, the more you know. He expected that being on the Oversight Committee would mean a direct line to the nation's deepest technological secrets. But as he began investigating unidentified anomalous phenomena, or UAPs, he hit a wall. He discovered that the U.S. military isn't actually holding the most sensitive information within its traditional chain of command. The true gatekeepers of technology that could rewrite our understanding of physics are not the president or Congress. They are shielded by a bureaucratic architecture designed specifically to keep elected officials on the outside looking in. This strategy began after the Manhattan Project. Once nuclear secrets leaked to the Soviet Union, the government realized it needed a new way to hide science that could change the global balance of power. They found their answer in FFRDCs, federally funded research and development centers. The Department of Defense routed funding away from standard military branches into detached entities. This created a paradox. They operate like private corporations, yet the federal government remains their only client. Because they are technically quasi-private contractors, they occupy a middle layer that is immune to the standard transparency laws governing the military. They get the funding of a government agency with the privacy of a corporate boardroom. By utilizing this corporate structure, the intelligence apparatus created legal black holes, places where non-human anomalies can be studied far away from the reach of the people's
the
elected
pirate
representatives.
radio station says,
Broad
message
inquiries
approved.
like,
Welcome.
do you have alien tech, almost always fail.
Message accepted.
In these
Welcome.
massive organizations, information is so compartmentalized that many current executives have no idea what their predecessors were working on decades ago. Lawmakers are now gathering exact file names and project dates directly from sworn insiders. They are using pinpoint intelligence to find the specific drawers where the files are kept. Burleson has stopped asking general questions. Instead, he is sending targeted demands to aerospace contractors, asking for specific records that the public was never supposed to know existed. One major target of this approach is MIT Lincoln Laboratory, a research center that has frequently appeared in the history of the UAP topic. Burleson issued a demand for a specific audio reel from 1952. On it, a senior Department of Defense official is reportedly seen briefing MIT scientists on the reality of flying saucers. The lab admitted the reel exists and has begun processing it for a secure review by the Oversight Committee. It was a forced admission that only happened because Congress knew exactly what to ask for. This suggests that even an impenetrable intelligence apparatus can be breached, provided you have precise data from the people who worked on the inside. The investigation is now moving from 70-year-old paper trails to modern reports of physical anomalies and exotic physics. This targeted pressure recently led Burleson into a highly classified briefing delivered by the Director of National Intelligence. Inside a secure room, he was briefed on a first-hand account of a UAP encounter at a military installation in the western United States. Intelligence officials described scrambling F-16s to intercept 3-meter glowing spheres. They weren't just watching these objects. The officials claimed the orbs appeared to be sentient plasma that actively outmaneuvered the jets. These objects demonstrated capabilities that made our most advanced military technology look obsolete, moving with an intelligence the pilots couldn't explain. The most striking part of the briefing was the conclusion. After decades of study, the intelligence officials admitted to Burleson that they truly have no idea what these things are. The UAP phenomenon has evolved from a fringe curiosity into a fractured intelligence crisis that cuts across the entire government. On one side, an unaccountable middle layer of contractors and research centers is hoarding exotic physics. On the other, the highest civilian authorities are left wondering why they're being blocked. If these contractors have been suppressing anti-gravitic technology or clean energy breakthroughs for decades, it represents a staggering loss of progress for humanity. The public is being denied a future that the government's own experts have already seen. The tension is building toward a breaking point. Whistleblowers are preparing to bypass their NDAs, and executive pressure is mounting for a mass declassification of the files. The truth about our universe won't be handed over voluntarily. It has to be meticulously extracted, one file at a time from the corporate shadows.
Spank, we are supposed to pay for it before it on.
Squawk! Pay for it!
Many of us grew up with a specific image of Atlantis, a high-tech metropolis resting at the bottom of the ocean. This narrative traces back to the Greek philosopher Plato. He claimed to have received the account from his ancestor Solon, who heard it directly from Egyptian priests during his travels. The modern search for a sunken island stems from the Greek word nissos. While commonly translated as island, the term more accurately describes